Hey, what's going on? Make sure you hit the I'm sorry, y'all. I got a little sick or whatever. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Sorry, y'all. I got a little sick or whatever. Make sure y'all hit the like button. I appreciate it, huh? Thanks. And I appreciate it, huh? Thanks. Give me a second. Just want to share this and get this out there. Make sure y'all get King Flex. I'm doing good. I'm doing get this out there. Make sure y'all get King Flex. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Could be doing better. Doing good. Could be doing better. I'm doing all right. Run over there and get King. I'm doing all right. Run over there and get K Flex for me. Huh? Do that for me. I ain't gonna talk bad about him. I never do talk bad about him though. All right, but this is what I do want to talk about. So there are some things going on in the world nowadays. Yeah, Monica, what's going on? There's some things going on in the world today that are starting to bother me a little bit. We used to drag Jaguar right back in the days. Yeah, that's what's up, man. I hope she doing all right, man. I hope she doing all right. I ain't necessarily drag her, but I hope she doing all right. I hope she doing all right. I ain't even been over there to see what she doing. Like I'm, you know what I mean? Maybe she done moved on or whatever. It's over as far as that chapter concerned. But let me get back to this because let's go into that too. Um, previously on this channel. Previously on this channel, a couple of times I have dragged people that are part of the F.B.A, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because of the pure simple fact I didn't see them locking on to things. So let me explain myself, because some people get this misconstrued when I talk about it. So I'm gonna talk about it in a way that you understand. The F.B.A for me is an extension of something that was there a long, long time ago. This is the foundation of Black Americans and the ADOS movement or whatever. They actually have their rearing in the 90s. And I'm going to tell you why I say that, this iteration of it. Because the things that they forsake their belief system on kind of translates back to the 90s, if that makes any sense. With that being said, the F.B.A, I believe, as a group, hasn't come through exactly the way that they should and represent. Now, I've said this before, I'll say it again. They're a young group, maybe they'll get better. You know, I do these comparisons when I say this about this group because I don't know if they're a collective, individuals, or they're screaming one moniker. I haven't really been able to get a definition of what exactly they are, what exactly they stand for. What I have a problem with is they have this little conversation all the time that's always on their channels with people to represent them, talking about somebody's a tether. I've been called this term before many of times. Thank you, said like that, Brim. I've been called this a couple of times. Yo soy el cubano, la mareno a ese. Yo soy el 12, but en la tora, negrito, negro. Entonces, sabe, huh? Aquí se. So, it's a diferente ahí, but yo todo negro. So for me, it's like it's weird when I get these conversations because there's people in Cuba that quickly identify with Black. There's people in Colombia that quickly and totally identify with Black. There's people in Panama that particularly identify with Black. There's people all throughout the Caribbean, Latin Caribbean, that identify with Black. You understand what I'm saying? No. With that being said, let me tell you why I went there. Just recently, and this is the second time, a lot of these news outlets, they don't understand this, but I have to talk about this because my daughter was half Haitian. My friends, I have a lot of Haitian friends. And so, and you see, you get people to tune out because they don't want to hear this stuff or whatever, and that's fine. You can tune out or whatever. You're not going to get everybody to join in. A lot of times when you have these conversations, you got to be having a conversation about some star. I don't particularly want to have those conversations all the time because I find them quite boring. If you can't differentiate, and that's what I think is the problem here. On this app, they do a lot of particularly fanning people to store stories about stars and stuff like that all the time. And it's almost like you're mandated to talk about a star or talk about the latest headline, whatever Google is trending right now through there, for it to be effective in reaching people or even for them to share your material. And I think that's so untrustworthy and of the app itself. But hey, what are you gonna do? It's free. I saw in the Dominican Republic where this has happened the second time, where Haitian refugees in the Dominican Republic. Hey, what's going on? Haitian refugees. I just tagged you too. Haitian refugees in the Dominican Republic are being forced out. And I'm going to show you a clip in a minute so you can understand a little bit more in depth what I mean. Now, why would you say, what does this mean to the F.B.A., the Foundation of Black Americans? Well, one time in this country, specifically in Harlem and all throughout the country, Philadelphia, California, um, when Mussolini was invading Ethiopia under King Haile Selassie's rule, um, they went in, was going in with force. And you saw Black Americans all across the country. They all joined the military so they could go over there and fight against Mussolini coming into Ethiopia. Ethiopia to this day in Africa is the only place in Africa that's never been colonized. And that was upon the efforts of African Americans in Harlem, California, everywhere across the country saying, no, 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 that won't happen. Huh? See, you don't understand the segue, do you? Your name that you hold in title is the Foundational Black Americans, right? That entails when you have America put into it. This is what I understand. You don't understand here. We have America put into it. You segue and tie the lines between colonialism. So let me give you a little history about Dominican Republic because I know a lot of you don't know. There was a man by the name of President Trujillo. Es un presentado cabrón ahí. Trujillo. Entonces, ¿sabes? Para la gente ahí dice Trujillo. Es un presentado. Dominicans, they always have weird names. I had a friend, his last name was Traversio. They always have weird names. But anyway, Trujillo tried to do the same thing that Hitler did around the same years. And what he did was he wanted to get rid of all the brown that was in the Dominican Republic. Every piece and etch of it. Mantillo, negro, tú sabes, para la gente latino. So if you were brown or you were black, he wanted to get rid of you, especially if you were Haitian. He would do a test and he would walk up to people and he would ask them to say certain words. And this is how he would determine whether you were French in Hispaniola. If you were French, like the Haitians, or you were Dominican, more so, either or the two. And in some cases, he didn't care if you were Dominican or Haitian. If you were dark, he would shoot you. See, Hispaniola. Entonces, para la gente latina, San Antonio ahí. It was an island, all one in itself. And then the Spaniards and then the Portuguese fought over it first, and then the French came in, override the Portuguese, and then at one time the Dutch tried to come in too, and they both kicked them out. He must have succeeded in that endeavor. He did. So, very smart of you, Alice. So anyway, long story short, Trujillo, he continued this devastation to the point where the UN had to come in. And when they came in, he had killed millions upon the same method of just going up to them and asking them to say a certain word and asking them to repeat the word. And if he heard a French accent come out of it, him or his soldiers, they would shoot. Him himself included. I know you did. And so this was the way of colonialism. And what do I mean by that? Trujillo took off a basis, and that's what you got to understand, of light is right, dark is bad. What you don't understand is this ideology is shared a lot of different places and a lot of different cultures around the world. And this is why I always say collectively, and I use those examples because I said the foundational Black Americans. When you hear these people say foundational Black Americans, many of them mirror my family, well, my mother's side of the family, where they're military people, ex-military, Navy, Army, Marines. A lot of these guys are called themselves F.B.A. That's artists. I see that in their profiles. And so these guys that represent this, you also have to understand you're representing America when you add in America in it. What does this entail? Well, this entails something of colonialism of your own. And listen very carefully to me. When you swing around this F.B.A., Future Black Americans, or whatever you want to call it, be very careful. Even though you patent the name, which I've heard, Tariq Nasheed, even though you sealed it to the best of your ability or whatever, there's other ways of circumnavigating and eventually coming in and taking over your little team there. And I know you say, no, not us. Yeah, it can happen to you. And I'm going to help you out because somebody said, you know what, why don't you try this? I said, okay, I'll do that. With the case of the Dominican Republic and Haiti, the problem is right now is You've got people that are displaced because of a guy named Rambo. I'm gonna still say it like that. I ain't gonna say it too much. Para on va, on compris, huh? But what happened is that you had a guy that used to be an ex-police officer. I'm gonna sum it up as quick as I can. He used to be a ex-police officer. He started a coup with the people. And people felt that the government in Haiti was not that good anymore, whatever, whatever. If you remember when the president over there, they rushed his home and killed him and tried to kill his wife as well. Um, Tragedy as it was, that country has been in turmoil ever since. And Haiti is a group of gangs everywhere in the country, Port-au-Prince, Pétionville, mon capri son nom. So it stands as no warning that you got a big problem in Haiti with the gangs. Well, now we're seeing the second iteration of that. And what's funny to me is, because I have a lot of Dominican friends. So for all my Dominican friends, if you here with me, you listening to me right now, make sure that you chime in if you feel the need. Um, because I'm trying to say this as carefully as I can. You have now racist Dominicans using political means, and they are riding around in the Dominican Republic with a truck, right? Big truck. And the truck is a cage on the back of it. Big ass cage, like you would have monkeys, dogs, shit like that. It'll give you reminiscent of 1920 something. Round up all them niggas. Put them in there in the nigga cage, like a Django Unchained. Remember that scene that towards the end? Put them in there and throw them in there in the nigga cage. They're riding around in cages like that in the Dominican Republic right now. I'm gonna show it to you in a minute. And when you see the people that are hopping on, that are they throwing on here, they're throwing them on the thing for a couple of days, scaring them, telling them, "Hey, we don't want you here no more." Da, da, da. And they've done this before when the earthquake happened. When the earthquake happened in Haiti, a lot of Haitians ran over to the Dominican Republic. They share a history together. You understand? And so, thank you, OG Kicks. They share a history together, real tight history. Hispaniola. Entonces, claro. And so, when you look at most Haitians and you look at a lot of Dominicans, a lot of them will look the same. My daughter's mother, if you looked at her mother looks way more Dominican and Latina than she does, or white, some people would say, than she does look with a typical average Haitian would look like, if you want to say. She looks very different. And there's a lot of other different Haitians that look different within Haitian culture. You get people by the hills, they'll tend to be a lot light skinned, and they'll usually typically be mixed with French, like French people. You know what I mean? So there'll be a lot of biracial things going on or whatever, whatever. You can find this also in Jamaica. You'll find it in many different places in the Caribbean I could think of, where you'll have like 4 to 5 different batches of mixed people, and they all mix with everything. Some could be mixed with Indian, I mean like Indian from overseas. Some can be mixed with Chinese. Some could be mixed with French. Some could be mixed with Dutch. Some could be mixed with a little bit of everything. Honestly, my daughter's mother was like her father was dark. So when my daughter was born, my daughter came out very dark skinned, but she was the most beautiful little thing ever. My daughter would have been like 24, 23, something like that now, I think. Maybe a little bit, yeah, two, whatever. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Um, every time I hear something about the Asian community, I always come up and I take out for it because I said, well, I put it in a place where if my daughter was alive, what would I do? You know what I'm saying? So Amani, this for you, huh? Wherever you at. Give me a second. When you were around and you're throwing people in cages, and this is the second time that you've done this, you're bribing people, taking money away from poor people in the Dominican Republic. You are, in some cases, family members. These people are some of y'all. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Throwing them in cages. I'm going to show y'all in a second. I just want to give this little epilogue so people know what I'm talking about, and they don't come in and be like, "Oh, hold on, what are you talking about?" This is a diplomatic emergency. They've done this before, the Dominican Republic. You have to understand the Dominican Republic was created by what you call the German Dominican friars. Yeah, my daughter passed away. She was born premature, and she died at about what? I think it was 7 months. But she was born at 6.5, almost 7 months old. You could see through her. That's when her color started coming in or whatever. She was very dark skinned and pretty. Her mother was very dark. Like I have this thing with black women. I usually date like if I date a black woman, I like dark skinned black women. Always have. I like a black motherfucker. Like you don't. That's why I be laughing sometimes. People be like, "Yo, you don't like black women?" I'm like, "Psh, I had a baby by one of the blackest ones you could think of, and I mean dark. She's dark, dark. No if ands or buts about it. Look like a little black angel. People used to say that all the time. Look like an angel because she was so. Her features were very unique. That's the only thing I could say. Like if you saw her name was Evenon. If you saw Evenon, you would automatically know, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, you would automatically know. Okay, I get what he's saying. She was beautiful. Every people that know her know that. Is no, and her sisters are beautiful, beautiful girls too, and all of them same thing. They all dark skin. Anyway, long story short, with a lot of Haitian people and a lot of Dominican people, they share the same DNA. Share the exact same DNA, and they're mixed. A lot of them are families. A lot of people are born in the Dominican Republic, especially the first time around when they were trying to kick people out or whatever, whatever. And I said to myself, I'm looking at the soldiers that are collecting. Y'all gonna see this in the video. I'm looking at the soldiers that are collecting them for on behalf of the Dominican government, and then I'm looking at the soldiers that are at the border that are on part of that from the Haitian government. And when you see them side by side, it's going to be very confusing for you guys to make a difference of it, you know. Por la gente latino a ese, tú sabes, no claro, ese era negro, ese era mantizo, este era blanco, tú sabes, es diferente que toda. Entonces, sabes, esto porque yo hablo pero la negro, americano ahora, entonces, sabes, pero la hice, la mente, la corazón, la sangre. So it's like, how can I explain it? The DNA strand goes so far back that you'll find a lot of Haitians that look Dominican, and you'll find a lot of Dominicans that look Haitian, but it's all black. You understand? Now, one of the biggest problems they ever had was with colonization. Now, that's why I want to talk about colonialism real quick, because it's affected Americans too, and they don't believe it. But I'll get into that in a second. What I want to tell you is be careful of who you point your finger at, and be careful of letting the few talk for the many. I know quite a bit of Haitian people. I know quite a bit of Latinos. You understand what I'm saying? I will say the newest Latinos that are coming in now, it's 50-50. You know, some are great people I've met, some are horrible fucking people. And they were horrible in their country. And they know that, you know? So, we don't have to argue about that. I know with somebody that speaks Spanish and is in my culture. I speak to Spanish people sometimes. Sometimes I don't get a good response. Sometimes I'll get a "que no dig." Tú sabes español, no? You know what I mean? So it just depends. And then the first thing they'll always think I'm Panamanian, or the second thing they'll think I am is Colombian. That's the other one I get. And then some people will say, and then tú sabes, claro. Well, yo soy la negro, ahí. So anyway, like when you look at these different islands, like even with Colombia had their first black female president. They threw bananas at her. I lied to you. I don't know why American blacks think that Caribbean blacks get treated better. It's worse. It's worse than anything you go over here. And I ain't never lived over there. And I can tell you that just from stories. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's terrible. But they're over there right now putting people in cages. And I want to show y'all this. I'm going to play it for you. And I don't know, man. Sometimes I believe like my kid, she might be talking to me. Dad, do this story for me. All right, kid, I got you. So I want to play this for you guys, and I want y'all to see this, and it's gonna make some of y'all a little unease, but I wanted to put, how can I say it? I wanted to put emphasis on it for many of reasons. All right, I'm gonna take this off real quick, and then I'm gonna play this for you, Sky. Gary, what up if you in here? Hold on one second. I hear T. Let me play this for you guys right now. Hopefully, I gotta hear no commercial. I hate when they do that. Sometimes they make you see a commercial. Yep, they did.
The UN says 1.4 million Haitians, more than 10% of the country, have fled their homes because of violence and instability. Many have crossed the border to neighboring Dominican Republic, but there they live in fear and limbo. 200,000 have even been deported back to Haiti. As part of our ongoing series on border security around the world, fellows from British Columbia University's Global Reporting Program visited the island and have this report as told by our Ali Rogan.
These cattle cars have been modified to hold dozens of migrants at a time. The Dominican Republic has ordered up trucks like this to roam the streets of towns and the countryside, filling up every day with Haitian migrants. In one of them, we met a young man named Colonialism who told us he came to the Dominican Republic to work construction.
It's wrong. It's wrong.
It looks like they're on a slave ship.
We've been going through misery, working for nothing, working for a house to live in. How is it that I'm in jail without an arrest warrant, without having done anything?
This sweep in the Dominican Republic is part of a response to escalating gang violence and economic instability across the border in Haiti, which has escalated steadily since the assassination of Haiti's president in 2021. Last September, at a UN address, Dominican President Luis Abinader pledged that his country would not fall victim to the pressures from the crisis in Haiti.
The instability in our neighboring country has put significant pressure on our own security.
President Abinader fortified and expanded a border wall and pledged to round up 10,000 Haitians every week to secure his country from undocumented migrants. The border town of Dajabon has been the epicenter of the deportation efforts. The town's market is one of the only places Haitians are allowed to enter legally to buy and sell products. But they must leave the same day over this heavily monitored bridge.
And this is at the border,
armed
right at the
Dominican
border.
Border Police stand guard, and there have been several incidents of violence against Haitians at this market.
It is security.
This motherfucker.
In Haiti, there are gang members. There are people who maintain anarchy in that country.
Farmer Santiago Rivaron is the mayor of Dajabon and has been aggressive in his stance against undocumented Haitians, even taking to the streets to violently round up sleeping migrants on his own. But while the volume of deportations back to Haiti may have skyrocketed, the border remains porous. Many migrants are known to cross back into the Dominican Republic across this river, and it's an open secret that a bribe can secure passage.
It's all about money. If you have the money, they let you go. If you don't have money, you stay.
On a
To
les
go
gens,
back, you pay a little something. You pay
on
for
commence sans
immigration
petit.
chief. The chief always puts someone else to do that for him.
Sans petit,
It has
sans
become a big
petit.
business, especially for some military. I cannot say that all the military are corrupt, but there are many corrupt military who receive bribes so that the border can be crossed.
The day after the Global Reporting Program team met that young Haitian construction worker, Colonialism, in the migration truck, they went to his home to speak with his family, only to find Colonialism himself back at home with his wife and baby, whose identities he asked us to conceal. How did you get back from Haiti to the Dominican Republic?
I always pass through a waterway or go through the end of the wall, where the wall does not reach to cross through the woods. If I could survive in Haiti, I would stay. Because here we are not living. Because we are not living, we are surviving. There is no life for Haitian.
He says he's lost track of how many times he has been captured, deported, and returned.
The army, the police, anybody in a uniform, the watchman down the road, is beginning to be involved in ways which lead to extortion, corruption, and to creating a chaos.
Human rights activists like Bridget Wooding have condemned Dominican treatment of Haitians. Amnesty International calls it de facto racist migration policies in violation of the country's international human rights obligations.
This particular anti-Black, this particularly anti-Haitian sentiment that the authorities have attempted to whip up. There's not a rational way in which migration is being addressed, and on the contrary, it's being used as a scapegoat for a lot of ills.
It is said that we are racists. That is not true, because the majority of Dominicans have black skin. So how can there be racism? The issue that we have with our neighbors is their lack of culture. We would like them to learn from us. They should do the same thing that we do.
But even many educated professional Haitians with legal right to study or work in the Dominican Republic have reported being arbitrarily detained. Louis Jerry Wood, a Haitian studying to be a pilot in the Dominican capital Santo Domingo, was grabbed right off the street.
I was going to the market to buy something, and by surprise, I encountered with this truck. One of them hit me, telling me to shut up. So I showed them about the visa, I showed them the passport, and they told me that doesn't matter, and they took me in custody and put me in this truck. So I really feel that I was discriminated, because I was black, and worse, because I was Haitian.
Louis was taken to this former recreational center converted into a detention facility to meet the demands of the country's migrant
Those
space.
guys are Dominican.
Outside the center, families waited for loved ones who had been detained.
I spent like one night,
those soldiers are Dominican.
Without drinking water.
I
was really
all those soldiers.
Because it
all
was
of
the
them
first
Dominican.
time for me to have been treated this way. Because even in Haiti, there was a situation of violence. I didn't really see this stuff.
To date, Louis has been picked up 4 times, and he lives in constant fear of being detained again. And he's one of the most connected Haitian migrants in the country, having been sponsored by Alexis Victoria Yeb, a prominent senator in President Abinador's ruling party.
I learned about Louis' desire to become a pilot. It captivated me. His story, his dedication, his desire to achieve his dream.
It was. Give me 1 second, Alice.
Don't go nowhere. And he is here legally with all the documents.
And while Senator Yeb says the Dominican Republic is reliant on cheap Haitian labor, particularly in agriculture and manufacturing, there's a larger national security concern.
We need Haitian labor. If they are regulated, if they have identification, we get them to work residence here. The thing is that Haiti is completely devastated, where they don't have controls over their citizens. Haiti is controlled by a terrorist gang, so we have to control our country.
This is my dream. It's my dream that one day I can see Haiti working when we would cross the border to return to our country. I have a child who's only 2 months old. I'd like to see his future. I'd like to see him grow up. I would not like to pass the misery that I am going through now.
For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Allie Rogan.
I want to read this a little bit to y'all right here.
I'd like to see him.
So in case somebody asked me about the bridge, a 244-mile border between Haiti and the Dominican Republic was agreed upon between the two countries in 1928. 1928. So yeah, they have never really been friends like that for a long, long time. And tú sabes, por la gente latino, tú sabes, la toda la historia. Diferente historia, entonces claro. So they've never been friends like many people think or whatever, nor have they had any support really like that. And I'll explain to you a little bit why. When you had Peter Toussaint, which was one of the first to overthrow the French in a rebellion of sorts here, whatever, it created a lot of confusion. And once again, I'll revert back to the Dominican Republic was founded by the German Dominican friars. It's literally what it gets its name, the Dominican Republic. The German Dominican friars. Lock it in your mind. All right, I just told you something. The German Dominican friars. This is who created this. All right, and even the president, the first president, he was amongst them. He was elected by them. So people will say, well, you didn't talk about Vicente. No. The German Dominican friars established the Dominican Republic for the church. Shut up. Now, any fucking way. Ever since that happened, the people there, they have kept most of them in kind of a turbulence of you have to be this way, you should breathe this way, you should make sure all your children are light-skinned with short, straight hair, whatever. This is all in keeping up with colonization. This happens all across the world because these colonizers have done this. The same way you used to see Christian refugee preachers and they be in Africa, they also be in Mesopotamia, they also be in Mexico, they'd also be in the Dominican Republic. All these folks, they be everywhere. They be teaching the good book the way they want to teach the good book. And what it does is it makes people colonized. Now, you would think, oh, well, our colonization is different from your colonization. Oh, no, it ain't. No, it ain't. The first time that the Haitians liberated themselves was Peter Toussaint. And when they got away from that and they rebelled against the slave masters that they had at the time, it was a gift and it was a curse. It was a curse because, one, the ground was eroded. I don't know if a lot of you know this, but it's eroded by sea. It's a salt sea. So all that salt sea, it makes the land barren up to a certain point. So it's eroded. Most of the soil that surrounds the Dominican Republic and Cuba is eroded. You know what I mean? So it's hard to grow things there. That's one thing that gets growth. When you go across to the Dominican Republic, it's very different and opposite. All this has to do with trajectory and, location of where the said people are. So that was one of the problems they had was irrigating. Now it's funny because you just heard the Dominican president say, "Oh, well, we like to hire them for cheap labor for irrigation." In the Dominican Republic, not in Haiti. Because if they could irrigate in in Haiti as fruitful as they can in the Dominican Republic, what you would automatically see is people in Haiti would not be starving. You got to answer that. So this is very true. The ground is eroded. The soil is eroded. It's been that for a long time. So when you had the revolt at first, a lot of these people didn't know how to irrigate on their own. They didn't know how to do it in planned structures. They needed help. And so since they didn't have anybody to teach them how to irrigate and things like that or whatever, you had that going on. Then you fast forward 100 years and you get the French, who still to this day, to this day called in, what was it, $100 million debt for Haiti to pay back for the slave revolt. I can't make this up. Without that being implemented back in, I think it was the 70s, you would not have the poverty that you have right now in Haiti. A lot of businesses left because of that reason, because they felt like they were fueling the French. And I don't know why nobody has stepped in front of the UN, including Donald Trump or anybody else, even before him, Biden, or even before him, Obama, and said, why is France, as one of our allies, charging one of the poorest countries in the world and holding them to debt? Nobody's asked that question. Now, when you heard the young man in the video, he said, I think they did it because I was black. And he said, second, because I'm Haitian. Believe it or not, most Haitians think like that. Most Haitians think like that. They know how to separate the two. Matter of fact, I'll go as far as to say most of the people from the islands know how to do that. What you have to keep and tell is, and I think this is where colonized Americans don't get it a part of the F.B.A. What you have to keep and tell us is this. You guys are colonized too. What you mean, David? Yeah, you're colonized too. The average black kid that you hear talk today, do they sound like the average black person that you heard, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago? No, they almost sound like white. If you close your eyes, some of these black women almost sound like white women. If you close your eyes, some of these black podcasters, they almost sound like white men. The way they like to pontificate, the way they like to extravagate and irrigate their dissertation towards. Now, I don't live in the projects or anything like that, so it's not like I'm envious of them. I live in fucking Lily White, Connecticut. Stop it. Stop it. All right, before you even go there, stop it. You know what I mean? With that being said, most of these black kids in the next 10 or 15 years, they're not going to sound anything like, I'm dead serious, they got to hear this. They're not going to sound anything like the typical black person that you heard not even 10, 15 years ago. These kids are what you call at this point assimilated. Now they're assimilated to different things. Some of them are assimilated to leisure. Some of them are assimilated to social surroundings. Some of them are assimilated to the point of being subservient to whoever comes in the fray to try to impress them. That's what more I see of. You'll see kids that'll throw their whole freaking coach under the bus to impress some po-ass kids. You know what I'm saying? If that's the best way I can put it. This is going on worldwide. I'm going to play another clip for you in a few seconds here that I want y'all to see. When y'all see this is happening in India as well. And I'm starting to follow this pattern of everybody's wrecking on people that are black. Now, I'm not here to cry. I don't do the crying shit. That's not my thing. But what I do is I point out shit like this when I see it, and I don't like it. I don't like it. This is the second time they've tried to kick Haitians out of the Dominican Republic or whatever. And yes, these people are black. And this is why I tell y'all, if there is this same cue, because they did the same thing here in America. Oh, you don't believe me? Watch the movie Django Unchained. Remember what he says? Oh, just throw that dynamite over there and throw it in the nigger cage. Remember that scene at the end where Django blows up the motherfuckers and he has to shoot out when he's trying to escape the LeQuint Dickey Mining Company? You don't remember that scene? So throw that in there with the nigger cage. And where were they at? They was in a cage being dragged by two horses on their way to the LeQuint Dickey Mining Factory. And the main nigga that hated Django in the this is the funny thing, this is the ironic thing. This is what I want F.B.A. people to get. The main nigga that hated him, them one spit on the ground at him. I can't stand that nigga. If it wasn't for Django, y'all wouldn't have had y'all freedom. Y'all would have been at the LeQuint Dickey Mining Company. Ha ha ha. There's a video by J. Cole. Get Off My D. You ever seen that video? If you haven't, go watch it right now. In the video, it's depicted they're all on the plantation, right? J. Cole's part of the house niggas. So he's up in the house or whatever. This whole time he has devised the plan because he's been hitting off Master's daughter on the low. He has devised the plan on how to escape. So Master's literally drunk, drops the key. He slides the key up under his foot, waits for the right moment. He's trying to say what's up to the other field niggas before. Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all ready to roll? Whatever. Niggas say, yeah, fuck you. You ain't nobody. You think you better than us. You up in the house. Whole time this nigga's plotting, trying to tell y'all, nigga, I'm up in the house. What are you, slow? I'm in the house, nigga. Help me. You know what I'm saying? They don't get it. So they didn't get it until it went down. And J. Cole in the video, he takes it over with him and two other slaves. They run over to the thing. You know what they do? They run to the field and give the slave field niggas guns too. Come on, let's go take the house. Let's go take the house. See, there was two groups that were separated, and neither one of them liked each other, but they both looked the same. The field niggas didn't like the house niggas. The house niggas didn't like the field niggas. The Jamaican niggas don't like the Haitian niggas. The Haitian niggas don't like the Cuban niggas. The Cuban niggas don't like these niggas. These niggas don't like these niggas. What they all got in common? They all black. What they got more in common? I need an F.B.A. person right now to tell me the total amount of black people that are registered as black in the world, internationally right now. How many numbers is that? Of course, these people here are not going to do the work. So let me look it up for myself. Let's do that. I feel that this whole pro-black movement shit nowadays is a bunch of talking. It's not about doing anything. You're not showing anything. Max B was out there handing out turkeys, and motherfuckers had something to say to Max B. Mind you, when the EBT crisis was going on, I asked the F.B.A., so what are y'all going to do? Nobody said a response. It's like they're quiet right now. These people, they don't like to be challenged. I noticed that much. I want to see this number. There are around the global black population is estimated to be about 1.2 billion. I'll say this again. The global black population is estimated to be about 1.2 billion, strictly adhering to those recent sub-Saharan descent. Strictly adhering to those of recent sub-Saharan descent. Other estimates include people of African descent across the diaspora, placed at a figure between 1.15 and 1.9 billion, or approximately 15 to 17% of the total global population. Now, 15 to 17% of the total global population ain't a lot, but you have to deduce a lot of things. How many people in there are old? How many people in there are children? How many women are there? And then you get your real number. Then you got to deduce that number. How many men are at age to fight? How many men are not, ill-gotten or sick or something like that? You get what I'm saying? So you constantly deducing numbers. So this is why I'm telling African Americans, it makes no sense for you to delineate or even use that structure right now, because the pure simple fact, collectively you could take over this motherfucker. Now I'm here to tell you something. Not all Jamaicans, not all Haitians, not all these motherfuckers that are online, these uneducated motherfuckers from all these countries. Shut the fuck up, let me talk. These uneducated motherfuckers from Africa, these uneducated motherfuckers from Jamaica, these uneducated motherfuckers from whatever country you're from and you're black and you're trying to delineate yourself from African Americans. Well, bitch, first of all, make sure you put on a dashiki. Okay, I need you to put on a dashiki. I need you to put on what do you call the thing? A fez. I need you in sandals. You understand what I'm saying? I need you with the local tribe. I don't need just one or two of you online, or you talking in your little pop groups while you listening to American music in the background. Or you think I ain't peeped that shit? See, you're part of the problem too. I ain't just talking to them. I'm talking to you motherfuckers too. What you think I was just gonna leave you out? Oh, he's here. Thought you had a friend, huh, motherfucker? Listen, you are part of the problem too. And your colonialism. Now, your colonialism and colonization is very different than American colonization, even though they were both done by the French, Spanish, and English, most importantly, right? Your colonization, including a lot of white Americans and their colonization too. You were indentured servants with the Irish. Yeah, that was you. You don't believe me? Go watch the movie 12 Years a Slave. In there's a scene with Brad Pitt, and Brad Pitt's an indentured servant. And upon his indentured servitude ending, he then delivered a letter for Solomon Northrop. Now, this is not a fake story. This is a real story, and there's a book written about the movie 12 Years a Slave. Okay, guy, we're there. Solomon Northrop. And he was right here, upstate New York. Yeah, in this area. So anyway, long story short, let's continue. You motherfuckers that are in these foreign countries that happen to be black too, you're following under the same colonialism as the motherfuckers that are here following under the same colonialism. And your colonialism traits are based on one motherfucking bait that they have put out there over and over and over, and you motherfuckers miss it. They have been using the same bait. It doesn't matter if you're a indentured servant or a slave. They have been using the same bait on motherfuckers since the Indians and they first came over here. We got some gifts. I got a nickel. You want a nickel? They gave the Indians smallpox and blankets. Right up the road here in Massachusetts. Oh, this shit happened here. The people that made up Connecticut, they were Gnostic Christians. They came across on those boats too. Rhode Island, same thing. The 13 colonies that are up here and the 13 colonies that are down south, they were both discovered by brothers. John, and what's the other one's name? John, and I think the other one's name is Jim or some shit like that. They were brothers. The 13 colonies from Florida up to Pennsylvania, from Maine. Yeah, Maine, all that shit down to it would be past Jersey, Delaware to Philly. 2 sets of 13 colonies. So with that being said, and I might be off here at muscle too, but it's 2 scenes. You've been colonized 2 African Americans. And I got a theory in my head that I think, and that's why I had to make this live real quick, because I said, well, me arguing with them don't help out either. And that means I'm part of the colonization, and I ain't gonna do that. So I'm gonna offer this, and I very rarely do this. To the F.B.A. people, I am sorry that if I might have insulted you or whatever, I think some of y'all took me the wrong way. Although, motherfuckers, there are some of y'all that I'm not going to apologize to. These are the people that are online and they keep the baffling going for old massa. Now, let me explain what I'm saying. And if you need a demonstration, just revert back to about 10 minutes ago in the conversation. You'll understand very quickly what I mean. See, you just as worse as the motherfuckers that's talking in these foreign countries. And you are looked upon as the bastion in the conversation. You do not know how the world looks at you, do you? The world looks at you as you're taken care of. The world looks at you as if you're, what's the word I'm looking for here? A bastion to society you are. And morally and rich and opulent, decadent in some people's eyes. This is how you're looked at as an African American. You don't believe me? Go to a foreign country right now, see how they treat you. They treat you like an American. That's how you're looked at. So it's a hint of jealousy and envy that comes from a lot of these people that come from purity, poverty. You understand what I'm saying? And you gotta realize that you don't have to respect it. I don't expect you to respect it. I wouldn't respect it either. Like, to be quite honest with you, I think some niggas go a little too far talking. You know what I mean? In some of the foreign countries, I'll be honest with you. I heard some of the shit some niggas said, and I was just like, okay, I can see why somebody would say something about that when they hear that. And they live in Mississippi or they live in Georgia, or whatever, and they never been around. Well, Georgia has a little African community with like Ethiopians and stuff, but it's kind of like the saying, they kind of stay to themselves. Ethiopians is a general. I dated an Ethiopian woman. Ethiopians in general, they just kind of like stay to themselves, like most African communities, and they interact with each other because they're scared to a certain extent. Then there's also some people, they'll give a nice little playbook for you before they even meet you. Oh, you go over there, mess with them African Americans. Da, 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 da. I had a friend named Baba Untunde. He was from Uganda, older gentleman. And I remember he said, like your people. He said, I said, what you mean? Black people like you? This motherfucker was blacker than the ace of spades. I mean, when I say black, he was black as a black, and his features was real black too. So there was no denying this man was from Uganda. That's all I'm saying. With that being said, man, I learned a couple things from him. He had been here since 1979. And he was just telling me all kinds of things about Uganda, Africa in general, things like that. And I listened to him. And some of the stuff he said, it did sound like almost like if you close your eyes, you would think a redneck was talking to you. You know what I'm saying? We gonna get them niggers. Not that bad, but it was there. I get it. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell you our new trajectory to take. Because what I'm worried about is they got this term called black fatigue, and a lot of these, and Al, excuse me for saying this, a lot of this poor white trash, because I don't like niggas, I don't like spics, and I don't like poor white trash. I think they should take all three groups, put them on the island, and whoever make it back after the sharks get at them. And I really mean that. But there are these groups that are watching y'all online interact with each other. Some of them are KKK, some of them are separatists, some of them are people that really want to do some harm to you. Really want to do some harm to you. There are whites that are setting up their own communities, hoping to separate from you. And I'm not going to be a stranger to tell you, there are also a lot of neo-Latino groups that are out there that want to see the destruction of even other Latinos if they happen to be black, which a lot of Latinos know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about, don't you? And you won't admit it. Oh, there's Latinos that celebrate, especially you'll find most of this in El Salvadorian culture. You'll find it in Mexican culture. I've had a lot of Mexican friends. You know what I mean? So I know the difference when I meet certain types of Mexicans. It depends on where they're from. Some Mexicans are very, very racist. They're even racist against black Mexicans, which are actually like Mexicans and black people after, I forgot what his name, I think it was Vicente that did it. But it was one of the presidents. He offered, because after the what is it? The Civil War. After the Civil War was over, you had this group that were called the Night Riders, which later formed into the KKK. And they were running around and they were snatching up folks. And just like you saw with Solomon Northup's story, it was returning back to, returning back to slavery, basically. And sad as it may be, there was a lot of that going on. You know what I mean? There was some people, that was a problem here in Connecticut. Connecticut never had a jail system until property became an issue. When property became an issue, they started locking people up. And it was mostly because people were snatching, like, a crime that white men are known for. Alice, tell me if you disagree with me on this one. You're a reader. We did a lot here and throughout the Northeast. White men would go find a rich widow, a husband that left at the house, or whatever. If you even go back to the 1800s, you'll find this. You'll find some old laid out white dude, and he'll get up next to a countess. He'll get up next to a rich, woman or whatever, marry into the family. And now he has possession of her assets to a certain extent. Sometimes they would even take the women out. She said, very true. This is historic. I ain't making this up. And it don't just exist in white culture, it exists in other cultures too. But white men used to do this very frequently. Very frequently. And they still, some of them do it to this day. But, and it's now, after a couple of years, they started labeling it gigolo or whatever. Back then, it was just a good business decision. It was just good family tradition. You know what I mean? He can navigate the family. That's the title they would use. He can navigate the family and the money in a good direction. Lazy bums. Golf course hustlers. Yeah, exactly. But never mind. Anyway, golf course hustlers. Yeah, exactly. These golf course hustlers, some of the most horrible, but that's what they would do. They would marry these girls and then they would try to take their property. So Connecticut invented a jail system specifically for that, and those that violated those laws via the Gnostic Christians that made up this whole entire state. They're trying to tear you apart internationally because they know your numbers. Did you read that number I read to you? 1.2 billion, motherfucker. Huh? So K-Flex, if you hear me, pimping, make sure when you playing on the chessboard, you play the right way now, boy, all right? Okay? Play the right way. And right now, you got to tone down this tether shit. There's other eyes watching. And the other eyes will watch what you're doing, and they'll make fake profiles. I've seen this a million times now. You know how girls make fake profiles and they come in and try to act like men? Yes, you do, bitch. Shut up. The white guys and white women are making profiles too. I've caught this several times now. They're making profiles and they're pretending like they're black people or Latin people or whatever. And they're saying all kinds of shit or whatever. But really what they have to do is they have an ulterior motive. The ulterior motive is to get you arguing. I'm dead serious, Alice. You'll see, because I could tell by, listen, I live in Connecticut, all right? I know what white people sound like. I hang out with Greeks and Italians. I'm very keen on what white voices sound like, whether they're authentic or they're fake. I can pick up real quick. So when I hear somebody and they type something a certain way or whatever, I put in the connotation of how they would say it. Same way when somebody's like trolling me, I usually put it in connotation of how they say it and remember things that they say or whatever, and it usually registers with me. Same thing goes for white, black, and Spanish voices or whatever. Sometimes I could be a little confused, but for the most part now, I got like a 92% rate. You know what I mean? So I know, but you've been killing me. Hey, it is what it is. You pick up on it real quick. And so when I see these motherfuckers doing it, because I'm telling you, women do it, men do it, they'll make fake profiles and pretend like there's somebody else. But white folks are doing this that are part of this black fatigue shit. I got into an argument today with a motherfucker online. I swear to God, I can show y'all right now. He was talking about Chicago. And he said, yeah, you see who's doing it, right? It's them people. That's how he said it, right? I said, well, it's them people. And I said, well, who's doing all the major shootings in the country? So I replied to him because he was very slow. And he ain't said nothing to me since. So he wrote back to me, and 5 people liked this post, but he said, can you elaborate the repeats? And what he said was, he said, yeah, it seems like the same group or whatever. I said, kind of like the repeats of the years over the years with Charlie Kirk and Trump, right? And I have 5 people like that so far because they got what I was saying. He wrote back, can you elaborate on these repeats? What do you mean? Everybody already knows the 13% caused 70% of the problems. And he had 5 people like that. Now, I can't make this shit up. This is what the motherfucker wrote. Oh, excuse me. Hold on 1 second. This is what the motherfucker wrote. I be forgetting I got this green screen thing up on here. Let me show y'all. This is what the motherfucker wrote. All right. Now, this is on a news post right here. All right. So you can see me right there. And all the things that you see highlighted right there with the bold letters, that's me replying back to him. So the first thing I sent him was, I didn't even have to reply and say much. And he said, can you elaborate on those repeats? What do you mean? Everybody already knows the 13% caused 70% of the problems. Now, the title of this is comment on 14-year-old killed, multiple injured during holiday festivals in Chicago. That's the name of the video, all right? So I said, he said, I replied back. I said, now is that so, huh? So the first thing I said to was the statistics, and this is about lately how white men are now replacing black men at the helm of criminality. So I sent him this from the Department of the Bureau of Prisons, excuse me, bureauprisons.gov /about/statistics /statistic underscore inmate underscore race dash JSP. So you can look it up for yourself. All right. Rewind that back if you want to know what that is. Look it up for yourself. You know what I mean? So then he didn't reply then. So then I hit him with another one. I said, seems like you're one of the group of proud stand-up men that can't keep their hands to themselves. He ain't know what I meant by that. So then I sent him another article, as you can see right here. If you click this article, y'all watch it. See this article right here? If I click this one, what this will do is say leave. And where's it going to take me to? Hold on 1 second. Yep. Got to press that. It says, what page are you sending it to? You know, you got to do all that stuff. Oh, yeah, this is the downloader. Hold on. Let me visit the page. Because it's a PDF, so. But anyway, when he got right here, only thing he had to do was just click this, and if you saw it, it would download the PDF. So that was from the Bureau of Prisons, but I can go to the what's the name and pick it up for you. And this one was about white men and sexual assault. They lead in sexual assault. And white men are frequently identified as offenders in sexual assault cases in the U.S., though other racial groups are disproportionately represented, particularly in specific types of offenses. Data shows that white men commit the vast majority of sexual abuse cases and offenses. The racial breakdown of offenders varies by offense type. For example, white men are disproportionately represented in cases involving child pornography and travel for prohibited sexual contact. Ain't that what they was trying to say with Puff and the Hookers? While Native American men are disproportionately represented in cases of criminal sexual abuse and statutory rape. Offenders demographics. Male perpetrators. The overwhelming majority of sexual abuse offenders are at over 93%. 93%. Okay? Male perpetrators said right there at the top. I know I can't help that. It's backwards. Maybe if you guys, I don't know, take a screenshot of it later or now and then flip it or something. But I'm trying to show you. I don't know how y'all gonna work it out or whatever, but you'll be able to work it out. You know what I'm saying? But there it is right there. I'm not lying to you. Male perpetrators, the overwhelming majority of sexual abuse cases offenders are men at over 93%. White men at 71% of that 93%, in case you can't read that. The majority of offenders in child pornography, he said racial breakdown. The racial composition of offenders varies by offense type. White, the majority of offenders in cases of child pornography, 76.6%, and travel to prohibited sexual contact, 53.3%, were white, Native American. Native American men were disproportionately represented in the cases involving criminal sexual abuse and statutory rape. And criminal sexual abuse, it was 61.3%, and statutory rape, that's kind of terrible, they were at 88.9%. Black men accounted for 16.1% of offenders, the lowest in all of the categories. You understand what I'm saying? The lowest in all the categories. You're very smart. You said look at it in the mirror. 16.1%. But we out here and got Puff heralded as the worst motherfucker there is, right? Blows my mind. Studies of male sexual assault perpetration, perps, I guess that's what they mean. Identifying factors such as low empathy, hostility towards women, strong sexual dominance motives, and a history of delinquency and contributing factors, notes the NYH funded article. Researchers also explored the intersection of white male privilege, racism, and sexism influencing factors related to sexual violence perpetration, and according to this dissertation from the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, the majority of sexual assault arrests are white men. Note the Bureau of Prisons. It's important to remember that men can be victims of sexual assault also. And they also not only assaulted by other, and they also can get assaulted by other men. So that's crazy too. But all throughout here, If you just go look this up, you'll see this over and over and over again. So this guy was trying to tell me, yeah, the 13%, 8%. I said, you a motherfucking lie too, and you ain't up to date. You reading some demographics from 1993, 2008. Those demographics they keep throwing at you about the 13%, they come from the original one because from 1993. And then they updated it again in 2008 or whatever. And they had mentioned in it within the report how the numbers had dropped at that time. They were nowhere near the numbers where they had taken them in 1993. And there was a crack epidemic going on in the world at that time at that. So, coming right out the tail ends of it anyway. So, yeah, I always like to show things like that to let y'all know I'll be out here. I just retired at AZ Supreme Court, where these stats are coming from. Where are these stats coming from again? The stats come from the Bureau of Prisons. You can find it there. You can also find it at the DOJ, the DOJ website, and you can also find it at Statistica, and then the other one is Quinnipiac. They also did a study. So every last one of those will do a study. But if you want to just enter it in, you could just enter in white male percentage, white males of sexual assault. Just put that in, it'll come up. If you want the one about white males and increasing jail population and how they make up most of the prisoners in the jail system now, you can look that up at the Department of Justice. Those demographics will be there. And then there's another set of demographics that hence talks about recidivism, meaning how often they ought to go back. And what you'll find is a lot of white men, if it's violence or sexual assault, they end up going back a second time on recidivism. I don't know how this is or whatever, but it happens. And it happens often and a lot. So recidivism is the key thing. I'm getting off topic here, but that's the key thing in this. Are you going to do the same thing again? Was you know what I mean, reformed or whatever the case may be? So I always like to emphasize that in the conversations or whatever, because a lot of people, they try to throw in race. I don't like to throw in race. I grew up around a lot of Italians and Greeks. So I don't like to throw in race, but sometimes it is needed. I don't like, and sometimes I have to talk about it because these guys, some of them, they don't know, have no clue of how they're perceived or how they're being watched or anything like that. And these will be the same people that will be on here talking about, yo, flag him. He ain't talking about nothing. No, I'm not sitting up here. The only thing I got to say is, yo, I can't stand how niggas is getting money. Nah, you know what I mean? Like, that's not my style. Never been my style. Back to the court at hand here. There's a population of people out here, F.B.A. people, that literally recidivism measures how their programs work. It definitely does, and how much it doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? More said. If a motherfucker's back, that means some shit didn't work. I watched a quick clip. I'll see if I can find it. And it was about a prison in Norway. Have you heard of this prison, Alice? There's a prison in Norway. They're very lax. They have their prisoners. They can walk around. They can do whatever they want to. They can have visitors. Some of them can work themselves up to even get a pass where they can be out 3 times during the week. I mean, as long as they're back by a certain time, they can literally go out about the town, do whatever they want to at this prison in Norway. Okay, so yes, I have. So this particular clip that I saw with this older white woman at the time, and she was a bitter bitch from England. That's the best way I can put it. This was the most bitter, evil bitch. I said, bitch, if there's a place in hell for motherfuckers like you, they got your spot rested and ready. You know what I mean? This was a mean bitch. She was like, oh my God, and they have this. And you know how to talk. I can't believe it. That's how the bitch shouted to me. So anyway, she gets on there and she's just talking about, I can't believe in England, we've never had nothing like this. This is England. In England, the prisoners don't have it. It's like, you know, I said, well, it ain't England, is it? It's Norway, huh? Give me fish and chips and hold the vinegar, bitch. What'd you say right here? I can't stand that. I hate the perturbed fucking people like that. We got a lot of them in our state, but I hate perturbed, specifically pontificates everywhere. I hate when anybody does that shit. That means it's a fucking acting role. Shut the fuck up. I watched Trump. Yeah, that's how I know I'm not wrong. I watched Trump today. He was talking to Mondani. I'm going to talk about that later. He was talking to Madani. He had Madani sitting at the desk with him and everything like that or whatever. He said, "Did you call President Trump a fascist at one time?" Trump looked at him. He said, "Nah, don't make up no shit. Just say it how the fucking." As Trump is getting older, he reverting back to being a New Yorker slowly and slowly. Like the other day when he was like, "Yo, quiet, piggy." I said, "Damn, he sound like me," because you know, Mom, I'm like, "Quiet, bitch." Oh man, Gip, you out here wilding. Keep doing your thing. He said, "Nah, say that shit the way it is." He said, "Nah, don't do that." Donnie was trying to work it back. He's like, "Nah, don't do that. You came up here to the big house." When Donnie got invited up to the big house. Ain't y'all proud? He going to the big house. That would be a funny comedy sketch right there. I got an idea for something. I think I'm gonna do that shit too, because that shit is funny as hell. He gonna stay up at the big house. You don't mind burning the shed, the bed, the pillowcases in the bed with this fucking black motherfucker. Yeah, I'll be cracking myself up sometimes. I'm sorry. What's going on? Let's wrap this up real quick, because I'm gonna move on to another live in a minute. Guys, listen. This F.B.A. shit, y'all gotta switch your shit up. Moving into 2026, and I'm with you on some things. Y'all gotta switch your shit up. Y'all gotta start with the tether shit. The tether shit is nothing but unwarranted, fucking, and classless and tasteless. The way you fight back is not saying anything. Nigga, you ain't worth me responding to. Get them rooms ready. Get what rooms ready? What you talking about? Get what rooms ready, homie? And make sure y'all hit up the Cash App, man. Support the channel, man. I've been fucked up over here, man. I need some support. You know what I'm saying? $5, $10, whatever y'all got to put in. Put in the Cash App, support the channel. The Cash App is down there at the bottom. I don't ever promote my shit. I just be going live and don't even say it join up like that. I'll say it once in an hour or something like that, but I could really use y'all support. My money fucked up this month. You know what I mean? So yeah, if y'all can support the channel, I appreciate it. If y'all can't, I understand that too. But y'all stop it with this arguing back and forth with them niggas, man. That shit whack. Trust me. Like, you arguing with, and I'm gonna he's gonna send me, that's what's up. I appreciate it. Yeah, because I'm for real, I'm fucked up. I had a couple things to take care of. Yeah, I don't even know. Like, I'm still, like, not to go off can, I'll go back to it. For covering the Diddy trial in person and everything like that or whatever, I really thought that, like, people was going to support me, and it worked against me. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I spent a lot of money doing that trial, covering that shit or whatever. And I just watched people around me that came after me be more lucrative in covering the story than the actual nigga that was actually part of Bad Boy Entertainment. Like, they was hating on me. And like, to the point where even today they still doing the same thing. I got people coming over here flagging me. Somebody flagged me yesterday, told me, I did a whole live on it too, so y'all can go watch it. And I showed them the proof. Somebody I was 13 minutes into my live, somebody flagged my live and said it was nudity in my video. I said, where's there nudity in my video? I'm not, and I mean, literally, I'm dressed like I'm dressed now. I had a scarf on, sweater, sweatpants, like, you know what I mean? And it was just crazy, man. But appealed it, got that back. But it was like, I was telling people the whole time, it was like, there's people that literally, I got 30,000 subscribers. You see the little amount of people that's in here? That makes sense, does it? It's people that's flag me while I'm live. So that's why I have to watch what I say nowadays, all kinds of stuff, man. But it's crazy, you know? Did you see the two dudes involved in the sex stuff on Art of Dialogue? They said it was her. No, they said who was who. I don't know. They said it was her. Who is her? You two get involved in the sex stuff at Art of Dialogue. They said it was her. They said it was who? At least you gotta bend that out for me a little bit more. I don't understand. Oh, Shorty. I don't know about Shorty. Shorty moved on with her life. You know what I mean? She got $30 million. She doing better than a lot of the rest of us from Bad Boy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not rich right now. I'm comfortable, but I'm far from rich. You know what I'm saying? Like, I live in a decent area. I live in one of the most, I ain't even gonna hold you. I live in one of the most opulent areas in Connecticut. That's a fact. You ain't gonna argue with that. Just to give you an example, 45 minutes here from where, not even 45 minutes, shit, 25 minutes. 45 minutes is for this guy, Tommy Hilfiger's brother. That's not even 45 minutes away. That's actually like 30 minutes away. Not even 30, probably like 20 something. And then Diana Ross's house from here is probably like 20 something minutes. Diana Ross lives in my area. Like literally. You know what I'm saying? Earth the Kick used to live in this area before she passed away. You could look that up. Yeah, this was I mean, if you already live here, ain't no big deal. But for the people that moved here, I guess it was a big deal for them. But I mean, if you already in the state, nah, you used to it. And these two YouTube streets, it's hard to determine who is worthy because when it comes to donations, just look for the niggas that's lying to you. You know, like I went to a nigga's page earlier today, right? I'm talking to Michael Guest, I think that's what his name is. I went to and here, I'll write it in here just in case y'all can't find it, because it's right there pinned, but some people they can't find it. I went to a nigga's podcast today. Oh, I can't do it. Well, it's right there pinned at an OG Kicks if y'all do want to hit it. I went to a nigga podcast today. And I ain't going to sit here and diss him because I don't have to do that because he's a nobody to me. He think he's somebody in his mind. But Sean was on there. He was talking about Max B. And I was like, Sean, the shit you talking about sound real personal. Like, you been up around niggas and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like, that would lead me to believe that you was in the music industry. I said, all right. So I asked him a question. I said, was you ever in the music industry? And nigga took offense to it. Started getting all erratic, talking like he was the man and I was a nobody. And like, I should be happy to be talking to him. And I was like, all right, homie. Like, I always like to ask dudes that. You know what I'm saying? So like, I asked dude, because he wanted an example. So I asked dude, I said, yo, was you ever in the music industry? He didn't want to answer that. He kept reading off and like he was using StreamYard. So he was putting what I was saying on the old school ass StreamYard. Who the fuck uses that shit anymore? But he was using old school ass StreamYard. That's why I knew this nigga was like not like a veteran. Like, I don't know. It's certain niggas that use StreamYard to work for him, but like, that shit don't work for me. But anyway, he was like using the shit and putting my comments on there, whatever. But he was picking and choosing which ones he wanted to put on it. But he would not answer or address whether or not he was in the music industry. The only thing he said to me, they even kind of like hinted, he did it for his crowd more so than me. He turned around and he said, you know, you don't know who I know. And you know what I'm saying, nigga? And yo, nigga. You know, when they start talking like that, nigga, you nervous. You nervous. You know what I'm saying? What you nervous about? You know what I'm saying? Now, I could have been funny and sent Max B over there. It wouldn't have took me nothing but one phone call, maybe two at tops. It might have took two at the most. You know what I'm saying? Yo, what French at? What? I'm telling nigga, I said, I'm saying this nigga. That's all what it took. Two phone calls at the most. Trust me on that. If you don't believe nothing else, believe that. You know what I'm saying? And he wouldn't answer the question. And so I started recording shit. Well, I asked this dude 15 times, were you ever in the music industry? And as his crowd, he thought his crowd was stupid. They started leaving up out of there. And two of the people that was in his chat room, because I recorded, I ain't gonna play the audio because I think that's weak. But you can go to his page and it's live he did today. And I'll show y'all screenshots so y'all know what street page to go to if y'all want to. Don't go over there fucking with him, but I mean, if you want to listen to what he had to say. And so I said, yo, one point, I said, yo, you lying to these people. I said it just like that. I said, you lying to these people. You know, for somebody to sit up here that's never been in the music industry, you in here talking about the Baphomet. What else was he talking about? Oh, he disturbed me when he was talking about Brandy and Monica. He said something about Monica being molested when she was 14 years old. It was like crazy to listen to from the perspective of like he went into a detailed spectrum of how Monica was abused at 14 and Brandy's mom did something. I know Miss Norwood. Like, I literally know this woman. Know what I'm saying? She used to work with one of our guys. Now I'm not gonna say his name, but that's how we met her. You know what I'm saying? So I won't say I got a one-on-one relationship with her, but I guarantee you, if I reach out to her, she'll know who the fuck I am. So it's like I was just kind of amazed, like, whoa, son, really? Like, and then he went from that to talking about Max B, then he started talking about Puff, and I was like, yo, this nigga is wilding. And then he had his man in the chat room backing the whole shit up, and I could tell by the niggas the way they were talking. These niggas were sitting on the 4th floor of the housing project somewhere. Had to be. You heard what the fuck I said. These niggas were sitting on the 4th floor of the project somewhere. Don't let these niggas fool you. Don't let these niggas fool you. These niggas ain't got no backyard. These niggas go outside, ain't nothing out there but rats and trash and more rats. Nah, I'm fucking with you, but real talk, you know what I'm saying? So I was just like, this nigga ain't even on a quarter of the caliber I'm on, but I'm gonna listen to him. So I kept letting him talk, right? Then the nigga started getting into these bitch ass nigga shits and all this little slick east side shit. And I was just like, yo, son, for real, you don't know who the fuck I know on the east side. You just talking to random niggas like he was talking to me like I was some soft nigga or something. Like I was like, all right, homie, I got you. You right. You got it. You know what I'm saying? You got it. You know what I mean? And my point is, those type of people right there are dangerous. And those are the ones that, because he had over 170 people in his chat room before I got there. And I didn't mean to make him lose anybody. It was people in his chat room that were literally speaking to me. You understand what I'm saying? And I recorded this shit. I want to emphasize that. So they knew who I was. And he even called out who I was. He was like, oh yeah, Davin Lewis from Bad Boy. I don't give a fuck. Trying to seem like he was the bad nigga. You give a fuck. Because you made sure to tighten up them motherfucking questions. Somebody whip spit in your motherfucking ear, nigga. Fuck out of here. Like, these dudes be killing me with the way they move and that's why I said it's a hodgepodge of fucked up shit. So Michael Guess, I think that's what his name is. Yeah, man, make sure that you do donate. I don't get on here bullshitting. Like, even the stand that I'm using right now, one of my supporters bought this for me, like literally. Like, this thing is hold on, let me plug it in because I haven't charged it in a minute. But this thing moves with me. It's a stand. I think I kind of saw when I had the what's the name up there, but it's got 2 legs on there, whatever. How come this shit ain't working now? Oh, it's still charging. Oh, there we go. Hold on 1 second. I'll turn it on. I might have to let it charge a little bit. Yeah, that's why y'all see me going in and out. But this thing will follow me. Hold on. I think it just needs to charge first. Yeah, it just needs to charge. Let me let it charge a little bit first, and then I'll turn it on. Yeah, because it's turning on, but it ain't staying on. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, it's turning on, but it ain't staying on, though. You fucker. But I'll show y'all in a minute. This thing turns with me and everything like that. I love this thing. This thing was like $70. So when I get donations, I buy new equipment. I buy lights. I need some more of these battery packs when I'm on the go. And these are battery packs I use. I'm charging one now. These are the battery packs I use. So like when I'm on the go and shit like that, this one right here is 20,000 mAh. So this is pretty huge. These run you about $30. I need like 3 more of those. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm always moving around. You can't charge your phone nowhere. So that's why I keep these joints. But somebody stole one of them from me at the coffee shop. I don't know who did it. What I'm trying to say is I think I'm behind Sean. You think you behind Sean, bro? I don't know what that means. What that mean, Alice? You behind Sean, bro? Sean, bro? You behind Puff? I got you. I'm sitting there talking to y'all about something. The motherfucking bill just came through my shit. That's just funny as hell. Anyway, I'm gonna end this podcast right here. Only thing I would say is this, man. Yeah, I know that's what you meant. Black American people, this is the best thing I would tell y'all. Stop listening to these gossip vlogs. Y'all can donate to whoever fuck y'all want to. Like, I can't force y'all to donate to me or anybody else. You know what I mean? I hear what this guy is saying in here too. Is his name Michael Guess? He said it's hard in these YouTube streets. It's hard to determine who's worthy because when it comes to donations, because a lot of these niggas be lying. I just listened to a nigga lie today and make up stories, and it seems like the more you're able to make up stories on people, whatever, the more fanfare you get. The more you out here on these YouTube streets, you calling people tethers and shit like that, you looked at it as some fucking type of hero. And I say, nah, I'd look at the opposite of that. I see it as a clever plan to try to separate niggas internationally because niggas' total worth is 1.5 billion. Nigga, there ain't 1.5 billion niggas in the United States, nigga. Make that make sense. See what I'm saying? So yeah, when I hear niggas with these overzealous claims and all this shit or whatever, I'm just like, yo, nigga, on both sides, the people y'all calling tethers or the Americans too, cut that shit out. That shit ain't got no progress in it, dog. I don't even see how you could see that shit got any progress in it. To be quite honest with you, right? Where do you see progress in that type of behavior from either side? Neither side. You know what I'm saying? One side does it out of frustration. That would be the Africans, Caribbeans, shit like that. I ain't even gonna hold you. Niggas just trying to leave where they at and get over here. But you niggas should be acting totally different. You should be like, pom pom, and violence playing in the background. I wonder what the poor Africans are doing today. But you can't overdo it because you got certain elements of different people looking at you and they're paying attention to you and they're looking at you and they're saying, look at these motherfuckers. 400 years later, they still arguing with each other. Honey, why are you worried about the niggers? Let them be. They look at you, even the ones that try to pretend like your culture. They're like, well, what about the other 10,000 behind you? How come they ain't like you? Hence, that comes the form of this type of assimilation that you've got now in the job place. I've seen black women run around acting like they got a fucking stick up their ass. I had a black chick walk past me the other day and look at me like she was going to fight me. You know what I'm saying? Like your own women don't even respect you. So you got to get on some shit where, I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell y'all. Y'all figure it out. But I'll just say from the surface point, y'all niggas stop arguing. I appreciate the info, especially when it comes to international people in the history. Not a problem, Michael Guest, man. Make sure you come back through whatever, man. I sometimes do these conversations like this or whatever. I felt it important to talk about Haiti. You know, my daughter was half Haitian. And so yeah, I did that for my daughter, you know what I mean? Like that. So I'm gonna always speak on that. Por la gente latino, tú sabes, eran dominicano, representando, tú sabes, no claro. But yo soy en tuyo, en las 12, no negro, mantizo, negro, indio, tú sabes, esta es la católica ahí. So I don't like when niggas be like trying to separate everybody. I don't like that shit. I'm just going to send a virtual hug and say thank you and happy Thanksgiving. Well, send a virtual cash app, motherfucker. Now, you choose me. I'll play it with you. I could joke with her. But yeah, everybody, make sure you hit up that cash app if you haven't. I appreciate it if y'all do, man. I got motherfuckers that's literally flagging my channel. I got motherfuckers that's telling people don't donate to me. I got another nigga that was like, Alex, you know I'm playing with you. Gostasi. But I got a lot of motherfuckers that are against me for whatever reason or whatever. So, you know what I'm saying? I ain't come over here to say, I apologize for a certain segment. What I came over here to say was, you dumb motherfuckers stop arguing with each other because that's what they want you to do. And collectively, you're 1.5 billion. You know what you can do? 1.5 billion motherfuckers, even if 500,000 of them is worthless. You got a lot of options. Even if 1 million niggas is worthless, you still got millions and 1.5 billion. You know what I'm saying? Even if 200,000 of them was incapable or worthless or non-fight combatant ready, you still have a ton of motherfuckers. And I just can't see Malcolm. I can't see Noble Drew Ali. I can't see Frederick. I can't see any of these people having the same ideology. Or let's delineate. The word delineate itself comes from the English hierarchy. And from them, they got it from the Romans and the Greek. We will delineate ourselves from the Romans. And the Greeks will be one council and one council only. You need an example of this? Go watch the movie 300, right? You'll find that there's two garrisons of soldiers. There's one garrison that the first king he took out with him. And then there was a second garrison of Greeks. There were Romans and then there were Greeks. Very similar, but not the same people. And at one time, the Greeks said, we'll delineate from the Romans. And or was it the other way around? No, yeah. The Greeks said, we'll delineate ourselves from the Romans. And that way, we will not have any ties. So, yeah, you do. You blood connected to these motherfuckers. The shit is called in black case, it's called the Negroid genome. Yeah, I'll look it up for you so you can see for yourself. All right. And way you got to be like, he just telling us shit. I ain't telling you shit. I'm smart. I'm very, 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 very smart. That's why they kept me around the music industry so fucking long. Professional is my nickname. I'm not stupid. Most people that ever worked around me, they'll tell you the same thing. I even smarter than I present to you guys on here, and I'm not trying to toke my own horn. Okay, so I want to read this to you. Oops. Hey, come on, man. What are you doing here? Oh, you fucking up. You fucking up. You fucking up. Hold on 1 second. I got y'all. Don't worry about it. I just got to go to history. I ain't got Tariq again. Yep, here we go. Okay, so I want to read this to you. And it always goes back to Africans. Like, that's the funniest thing about it. But there's so many different genomes. Like, I think that's what a lot of people think. They think it's all one genome. But it's not all one genome. It's many different genomes uniquely compacted into one genome over a time and time. As you can see, the case of 25% of given ethnicity gives us exactly the numbers of generations we expect. It's 2 generations ago, i.e. one of the 4th grandparents who gave you up to 25% of their DNA. So let me start there. All right, that's the part I was looking for. So in 4 generations back, your DNA sequencing switches. You understand what I'm saying? So meaning like, there's a way that the gene can become dormant, and then 6 or 7 generations out, you'll be like, you look like your great-great-great-great-great-grandfather. That's why, because that gene was dormant for a while. The term Negro genome is not a scientific one, but it refers to the genetic makeup of people of African descent, particularly African Americans, which is highly diverse. The diversity is due to centuries of mixing, with African Americans having an average roughly of 73% African, 24% European, and 0.8% Native American ancestry. Through proportions very significantly. Genetic studies have mapped this into variations to understand population history and health disparities. Key findings on African American genetics: admix ancestry. The African American genome is a blend of different ancestries reflecting the history of transatlantic slave trade and subsequent movements within the United States. Average ancestry proportions: African 73%, European 24%, Native American 0.8%. Regional variations. The proportions of different ancestries can significantly be based on region. For example, African Americans in the Southwest may have more Native American ancestry, while those in the Northeast may have more European ancestry. Genetic mapping. Scientists have created detailed genetic maps of African Americans to pinpoint the genetic recombination occurs, which is helpful in understanding genetic variation as it rolls in diseases. I just said that. Your genome switches. The significance of these findings: challenging the concept of race. The genetic diversity of African Americans challenges the idea of race as a rigid biological category. Understanding health disparities. Understanding the genetic makeup of African Americans is crucial for studying and combating health disparities, particularly those that affect the community disproportionately. Reclaiming history. Genome sequencing and analysis can help shed light on the race histories of enslaved people and connect them to their ancestral roots, blah, blah, blah. Feature research. And then there's like several other different things here I could talk about, whatever, but they really don't go into patterns of the conversation I'm trying to have with you. You up here talking about some tethers and shit, nigga. You a tether. You got 24% white folk in you. 24% white in you. Talking about we the pure. You ain't pure, nigga. You ain't no more pure than the motherfucking toilet paper I use. So let's stop that conversation. Africans, you ain't pure either. Caribbean people, shut the fuck up. If you speak another language, shut the fuck up. All right, let's end that one right there. If you speak another language, just shut the fuck up. All right, let's do that. Let's do that way. So that's all I got to say about that or whatever. Don't let these people fool you. They're trying to break you up and they're trying to divide you so you start arguing amongst each other like they've always done. Willie Lynch come to mind. They do this as a directive, and they're using digital echo systems and echo chambers to facilitate the means upon it, along with a lot of other things, depopulation. That's encouraged by telling the girls, you don't need a man. Just go over there and get your mouth full of a J. You'll be all right. It's nothing like us girls. Girls. I kissed the girl and I liked it. Girls. They got half these girls turning into lesbians overnight. They don't even see it. Yay. I'm licking some J. What did I say? I said something wrong. I'm sorry. I slip up sometimes. But yeah, they got half of these girls liking girls. Girls don't even like boys no more. Did you know that? These girls are getting online now. Who, the bear or a man? I'll take the bear. The man's going to hurt me. Craziest shit I ever heard in my life. I said, oh, it's over. Yeah, man. All right, y'all. I will be back with y'all later. Make sure y'all hit the like button. If you haven't hit the like button, I'm pretty much you won't do that. Most of the people that come here and don't hit the like button, that means they don't like me. They're just here to see what I got to say. So don't worry about that. But for the people that do mess with me, make sure y'all hit up that Cash App. I'll be back in a little bit. I'm going to talk about some other things or whatever. I might talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene resigning. I don't think it really has any impact. From what Trump and a lot of other people are saying, oh, hell no problem for me unless it's Prince. True indeed, it's over. Hell yeah, it is over with the dating shit, man. Women out here talking about they'd rather be in the woods with a bear on before a man. That go to say a lot of things right there, and it ain't that they don't feel safe because men are generally out here ain't just grabbing up men and grabbing up women, and men ain't grabbing up women, and this is, you know what I'm saying, taking advantage of them. I don't ever see no shit like that. Like, there's men out here to do shit like that. And it's funny because I hate to say this like this. I just read early in the demographics for you guys that white men account for something like 90% of sexual assaults, right? I got a clip that I'm gonna put up for y'all about these girls that said they were delineating from dating black men. And every last one of them ended up killed, including the one that's recently that she got stabbed up by the white boyfriend. And then after that, I don't know if y'all heard the story or not. The nigga crashed into some shit and then set himself on fire and was still alive. Yeah, I love women too. You know what I'm saying? I love women. So, you know what I mean? It is what it is. But I don't care if, like, I think, like, if you really want me to get into it, I will do a whole live about that too. I tried to do it before. But one, I will say this. I think when you have somebody, and you can take this away you want to, I think when you have like a white man and any other race of woman outside his white woman, nobody says anything about it because they have this projected notion about who they are in society. Mind you, this motherfucker is a mechanic. Mind you, this motherfucker is a janitor. He ain't really a white man of opulence. I know white men are opulence. That's why I told the white men it ain't shit like they ain't shit. I do the same thing with niggas. If you a nigga versus a stand-up black man, I'm gonna talk to you like a nigga, especially if you come approaching me like a nigga. If you a spick and you approach me like a spick and you turn around, you ain't no more but the janitor or some shit like that, I'm gonna treat you like a spick. See, I'm an equal opportunity motherfucker right here. Always have been. That's why y'all hear me talk about poor white trash niggas and motherfucking spicks every 3 days. And gonna keep it like that. Because those three groups are the motherfuckers that mess up America. Whether you think it's vulgar the way I say it or whatever the fuck else, I could care fuck less. It's the truth. These motherfuckers are fucking up America and always have. So I just tell you that's why there's no real incentive for you niggas to be online talking about against your own people. It just don't make sense. These people are your people, and internationally, that's how they look at it. You heard what that boy said? He said, I was black, but I also know I was Haitian. I will be back in a little bit, y'all. Probably like 30, 45 minutes. What I'm going to let this phone charge up. I forgot to charge the phone up. Y'all make sure y'all hit the Cash App. Make sure y'all hit the like button. I appreciate everybody who was here. Alice, Mike, what's your name? Michael Guest, appreciate you, man. And a whole host of rest of y'all, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and everything like that, whether you donated or didn't. And I'll talk to y'all in a minute. Hope y'all enjoy it.